storage. Anyways, okay. Is everybody? Oh, everyone okay? Everyone awake? Um. Okay. Awake, alive, awake, shortening your sleep. Okay. Just woke up. All right. Welcome awake. Okay. No, I'm not working on that, Harry. Maybe next time. TK, you're completely free to go to sleep. I'm like recording this, so you can just come back later. Okay, I'm gonna go through wave principle. Let's see if we can make it into something fun. Let's just do it like a bunch of times, right? I'm gonna use different methods for it. I'm gonna show you how I use the different methods. So I did this all in my video. If you want a revision of it in a better way of a more concise way that I explained it, then go watch the video. In the meanwhile, let's draw a person. Does anyone have a character that they like that I can draw who has long hair? Give me a suggestion, anyone? Sage Valorant, alright. Bro, who is that, Harry? Anyways. This is like a good character actually, because you get alright, it makes it a little simpler to animate. Okay. Is that guy's character? Okay. Somewhere else, skip a part. So you don't have to watch this. Hello, Sunny. Oh yeah. Right. Well, everyone here can follow along as well if they have a character or an illustration they want to draw. Alright, we'll start with this. Forehead in. So I'm gonna use, let's say, all three different ways of animating the wave. Sorry, Sage Valorant, for being bald. Won't be long. So first, they have this. He has this, right? So this hair here comes up and around, right? And does this remind anyone of anything? Well, for me, it actually makes me think of like two joints, which you've already practiced, right? This is like the arm wave, but it's kind of like this. So this part would lead, and then this would drag behind. So how are we going to do this? Let's make it so this comes up and down in ease. Okay, let's go up, upside down arm wave, exactly. Just making it move, right? Let's make a few frames, and I'm going to grab this first frame, put it at the end. So let's do it part by part. Come down, right? And then it comes down. And then we have to ease it, right? We don't want to just make it jump all the way back. It comes down, ease out, then come back up. Right, let's see how this looks. Does it look like it has easing enough? Looks fine enough? Okay. So now all we need to do, like I said, this drags behind. Now it's a bit hard to figure out how it would do it. Yeah, I say easing a lot. So it comes back down. Now this is a bit hard because for this we're kind of thinking about how this should come back up, right? So it looks like it should already be being dragged behind. Let's just continue it. Let's say it's getting dragged behind, right? And maybe even break this up like this, right? It comes up. So this has to come this way. And now it comes down. This part comes down, but this bit here, it's still carrying momentum. So this needs to ease out. Let's ease it out. It's coming down. Right. Look at this. Like this, right? Boom. 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 Guess what? It's moving in an arc. Now it's a bit hard to track it, so I won't completely track it. Just gonna think about it, right? It's easing. So it's coming over. It's getting. It's not moving the exact amount of space as this. I'm thinking of it as kind of its different thing, as its own limb. But it's carrying its momentum, and now it needs to, like before, like the bouncing ball comes over here, eases into a stop, and then comes back around. But this bit is constant, right? So it needs ease out and ease in. So let's continue. So now this stops and starts coming up, but again, this is carrying its own momentum. This is speeding here. Next frame should be about, let's say here, right? Let's say speeding up, right? Now it comes up. So what happens when it comes up? Well, it's come back up. Again, we're thinking of easing, so it's not going to be, I'm thinking about it as this, and then it should slow down like this, right? Not that it just goes here, and then stops, and then comes back. But it should be a controlled going back around. And so here, I'm not actually going to continue to focus on this. I'm actually going to continue it in regards to what I've already made. Let's say it comes up here. So it eases out here, right? And here. Two. So here I don't want to make it so that this is the exact same line. We're going to move it, change it a bit. What am I changing it to? so that it's actually easing out again, right? See, you can see here, goes from big to smaller to smallest. Now it needs to ease out the other way. Let's see what we made. Not the most perfect wave principle. What did I mess up? Okay, so here it looks like it jumps a little too fast here, so I'm gonna make it so that this drags behind. So already, like here, I'm already gonna be fixing it around, right? Now what's up here? Something feels strange, where it feels like it kind of hits a ceiling, like doesn't feel like it smooths around enough. So I'm gonna make this. So what it felt like just then was that it felt like it's doing this. Right? What I want is for it to come up as in an arc. So again, arcs and easing comes back around. We really want to keep it in mind. It still feels like it. I'm gonna keep working on it. Make it so this comes down a bit. Um, let's make it move forward at this point. Okay, let's say that's good enough. Now, it's not good enough for me. I would probably continue working on it because I feel like it's still a bit, it juts a little bit, right? I think it has to do something with these 3 frames kind of making a straight line. Let's go, I like to flip it as well. Right, you see how here it makes like a straight line. See if we can draw it. Right. There. See how here it has no easing, right? So really what I should actually do. Bring this around. This down. This up a bit. Now what we have. Let's see if I actually did something. That's already a little bit more smoother. Let's go in again, because I think there's something here. You see here? Again, I made a mistake, but that's why we gotta do it. It goes from big, small, and long again. I'm drawing with the wrong layer. Right? Here, small, and long. So I want to fix that, so go back in, right? Move it around. Like it's easy. So maybe I make it so that instead of going just in the middle, I'm making it so it just with these 3 frames I can get a little bit of ease, right? Let's see it again. Yeah, that's a little bit better. just gonna make the eaves a little bit more smoother. Okay, just like that. Just like that. But you can see how long I'm taking to just really get this motion down. Because it's important. I'm not focused on how clean the lines are. That'll come later. I can always do a tie down afterwards. I don't know what I just showed there. I sure hope it's nothing. All right. Now let's say we continue on. And let's pick from here. And so again, we're thinking of it as like second section. Right? So this should actually, again, like this arm, right? Should drag behind. This way. This time I'm just skipping over to the curve. We can do that. Right, not the best. Actually, let's forgo that. Let's try to do it with the other side. Don't like how that looks. So again, like this. This is the same, doing the same, dragging behind, right? Drag behind, and it should come around in an arc. Showing the thought process is cool, but getting used to it is going to be a bit of a challenge. Hope it helps. Okay, I'm actually not sure how I'm doing this. Should make this a little bit nicer. It ends here. After this, I'll show the other process that I do. Nice, and here this time I'm thinking of it as it drags behind. Also, yes, feel free to go whenever you want. This will all be recorded. So doing it like this, I think this is what Gobelins does, right? It's almost a line by line approach. Gobelins, road sign does it, right? A lot of French animators do it because Gobelins, Gobelin. Here I'm not too focused on it, as long as it has a little bit of drag, right? So here I'm keeping it as if it's much more of a stiffer word. I can't remember. Anyways, now we just have to connect it. I could connect it kind of haphazardly. You can see here something feels wrong. Feels wrong about it. I think the size, right? So let's see if we can continue. So here I'm kind of thinking of it as in relation to this, right? Thinking of how much should this move? This side move? About the same as this side. Of course, if you're doing it so it drags behind, you could definitely change it. But this helps you to keep it a little consistent. So this moves, see how this line moves this much? I can go here and well, this line should move about that much. Right, so this helps a little bit with the inconsistency portions. Now, I think what a lot of people might do in the airwaves, they end up making it so they're like, oh, well, it should be an S curve. And there's definitely a way to make it so it's an S curve, but sometimes you can also keep it so it sticks. It makes it a little bit stiffer. So I also like to take off the onion skin. And then now I'm actually thinking of applying the other way of the wave principle. So I don't know if you've watched the video. I recommend you do it, but one way is to think of it as if it's a... Let's do a little sidetrack for a bit. One way you can think of the wave principle so is that it's a circle. Where's that from? I don't know. As I do here. We have this thing here. We can then go of it as a circle coming up. So this circle is coming up, and so there should be another circle coming up. Let's just continue this one coming up. So this one should also be going up somewhat. Let's see if this works. Comes up like this, right? The other way is, of course, the arm wave that we've already done. We drag behind. We'll continue that, and you'd have to. But here's another way to visualize it that kind of helps someone. Think of it as these squares that come up. Right? See how it's kind of moving the same speed. Now, we can't just make it, if you just continue on, right, then it'll just be a straight line. So we need to make sure that it's going to be another square, and we can imagine that there's going to be a square like this. So what do we do here? Do something like this, right? And so you're always thinking ahead, especially in straight ahead animation, especially in wave animation. Right? So it's kind of, you're thinking of this shape you're kind of trying to keep in mind, and you're just moving it down the line, right? And so when we do the wave, right, we can think of all these three ways at the same time, or use it to check. So, whoops. Messed up there. Okay, let's do it like this. All right. So we could think of it as like this, or like this, or like this. but with just the S-curve, we can already imagine, right? If we continue this S-curve, well, it should kind of do something like this, right? So we can imagine it's as if like there's another square like this. So what happens when you go to the next frame? Well, we try setting it up so that we're going to curve it around this way, right? We curve it around. And so now we can think of like these shapes as coming up. And so now it makes it a little easier. Now, with this bottom part, you might be confused as how far to move it, what shape it should be, but again, we can come back to this one. So it should come back and forth, right? Over this way and then ease out at the end. So let's do that. It comes over. Kind of continue this shape, come up, 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 up. And it goes here, right? I'm gonna imagine this is the shape. So this is the peak. This peak should be going up. So let's try that. Right? It comes up. Up, up. Right? And so over here, we don't just go straight into the next one. Again, think of the arm wave. We're gonna ease it out. Right? I'm gonna make this here. It's not gonna go straight to this curve. Keep it simple, keep it smooth, keep it polite, We don't want to make it startled. And again, like before, just by doing this, we can imagine that there's going to be another wave over here. So we prepare it by making this curve here. Make this curve, right? And again, you can see it's like this. This square here moves up. We can even start from there first. And right. So this peak should be up here. I don't even care about the length. I can do the length first and then cut it off. Right? Where are we at? Okay, a few more frames. Let's continue it. Goes up. And like this. So we're not just thinking of one way of doing it, we're actually checking all the way through. Is it easing in and out at the bottom? Is the shape getting carried up? Am I able to make the next wave come again, right? There's a lot of things to keep in mind, but over time it just gets really easy. So let's get back to this. Let's back to this. See if we can do this. And so here I'm thinking, okay, well, it's kind of like this ball. It's gonna travel down the line. So let's see if we can do that. This tracks behind. Right. And this time I'm actually gonna keep it at something like this. Right? Does that work? I actually don't know if it works. I'm experimenting right now. Okay, something went wrong here. Here is fine, but this hair shape is kind of bugging me out. So let's try again. It comes out. And so let's try again. Where it comes down. So let's do this. Okay, so I missed the frame. I'm gonna think of it like a jellyfish. Mhm. What am I missing here? I'm like semi-talking to myself, but also asking for help. I think it's because I did this kind of weird thing, the front of the hair. Like this works, but again, I'm getting bugged out with this. Let's restart it. This one. Wait a minute, somebody's calling me. Let me come back in a second.